Do you know I'm not going to edit any of this?
Oh, heavens.
Alright, there's a question for me. If you could choose again, would you go for the lighter Osprey Asia 55 Pro instead of your current backpack? You might not know, I had a big, well you just do, I had a big faff about backpacks. I would stick to the current one that I've got, but I would be interested in trying the Pro. Maybe one day I'll try it, but I'm pretty happy with what I've got. Okay, Dartmoor Paul. I'm assuming before the PCT you did a lot of reading, watching YouTube and planning. How long from Campo did the plan last? Is it still working? Or did the trail dictate from an early state and now you just roll with it? So you're planning?
Good question.
PT dubs?
Yeah, my planning, what was the question? I mean,
like when did your planning stop? From before you reached the monument, how long were you planning? But you've been on the trail twice, so
yeah. So this is the second time around. You kind of know what you're sort of expecting when you're starting. Honestly, though, when I started in 2018, it was Cinco de Mayo. It was really hot, May 5th, and this time I started March 30th, so it was like completely different. Like there was plenty of water. It was actually 27 degrees the first night on trail, and just hail and rain all day the first day. So it was just a totally different scenario than I started in 2018. So just something else to get used to, I guess. But yeah, planning. I guess I thought I was going to be dealing with long water carries like I did in 2018. A lot of water, finding out what water situation. Water is just constantly like scanning. People's Instagrams before I started, you know, when they were on trail.
You watched my videos, didn't you?
I watched your videos
before we met.
But I was watching people like who were like, you know, like a week before I started or a month before I started, like probably shortly, a couple weeks before I started, but like what their water situation looked like, and it didn't seem to be a problem. It was like the cold and the snow was an issue for them, and that's what happened. I was more worried about being cold in the beginning now. So.
All right, Dr. D, you're planning. You didn't watch any.
No, I did. I think that gear planning goes a long way. It goes past mileage because you start not only understanding what gear you have, but also what is out there. Like, hey, currently I have this backpack, but I could switch to this other backpack if needed. That goes a long way, and I think the planning, like, oh, my first night's gonna be here, and my second night's gonna be here, and my third night's gonna be here. It's like, that stuff flies out the window so quickly. So I think that spend your time really looking into gear. What possibilities are out there? What can I change to? Like, by the way, has a desert pack and setup versus, you know, a warm one, you know, like, because in the desert, you don't need the thermals. He has a tarp tent, you know, but then when it was snowy and, you know, colder, he has a different tent for that setup, and he's got his thermal layers, and he's got an inflatable pad instead of his Z-Lite, you know, like that kind of stuff goes past mileage, but planning every mile doesn't matter once you're past day one almost, you know?
Yeah, I'm sorry, can I go back? I was just saying, like, if you're going to plan something, I guess I planned more for cold situations and then planned for hot, very extremely hot.
Two extremes.
So I guess you do different kind of setups for that if you can.
I'll just say one thing. She had a plan and then she met me. So that went out the
all
window.
downhill from here.
Yeah.
You can't plan for that. You can't plan the vortex.
Yeah.
Sorry.
She's like, we're gonna do this many miles.
Do you know what? I will say, I went over the top with planning and I was obsessed, but I watched every single gear video, and I think the majority, probably 90% of my planning went into gear, and I don't regret that because in the end I was really happy with my gear. And I did make a spreadsheet. Happy with my spreadsheet. I made it like a rough. What do you know? I love my spreadsheet. I was color coded it and everything. So it was basically a resupply spreadsheet where it was kind of like maybe like 6-day sections, and I kind of planned it if I was on my own. This is what I would do. That went all out the window. So at the end of that, it was handy to have, especially when we were trying to figure out, you know, if we were posting boxes, how long it would take for, you know, we had, like, I calculated it to have, like, an ETA of when we were going to arrive. So, yeah, I did a lot of planning. I probably did too much, but I'm quite happy with the planning. And I kind of, like, even though it's stressful, I kind of enjoyed the planning because it's all part of it, because you're getting excited. I watched so many videos. That's why when I got to the monument, it was such a big moment, because for me, I'd seen it in like, and that's why I said in the first video, it was like I felt like this was like a fictional, mythical thing, because I'd watched so many things, and that made it even more exciting because I'd seen all these places. For me, it was like meeting celebrities. You know, I'd seen, I saw this Eagle Rock, I saw the aqueduct, I knew these places, I knew this trail inside out because I spent so long. And when I started watching videos, I never believed I would ever do it, or that I could do it. So I'm happy with the amount of research I did, but you can also come out here and do no research and still make it.
I have to follow that one. Well, I did a lot of planning when I tried in 2019, miles per day, etc. But now I think my style of hiking is just to kind of look a little bit ahead with the water and towns and what day you'll be ahead. But I don't know, I just prefer just to see what happens. It's more fun just to do a hike. I don't know. There's a blue blaze and something pops up and good old lake and
vortex here.
Find a beer somewhere. You never know.
Always
but we have
beer.
the best experiences, and that's something that's worth mentioning. You know, you can stick 100% to the trail. You can be a purist. For some people, that's what they want to do and hike your own hike. That's amazing. But for some people like us, you know, we take a wee detour. Would you like to take a wee detour? You know?
You can't plan the people you meet.
No.
And you can't plan the experiences that they're going to bring with them. And it's been,
And I think anyone who does a weekend, 100 miles, the whole thing, it doesn't matter. You're still getting out here. So I don't think there's any right or wrong way to do the trail.
Absolutely.
Because you guys are just out here. So I think every way is great.
Be proud of yourself no matter what. You get to, I sound a bit drunk now, I'm a wee bit drunk. You get yourself to the monument, you hike 100 miles, you should be so proud of yourself, because you're 100 miles further than someone who sits on the sofa wishing they were out here, you know. So you should always be proud of yourself no matter what you do.
Cheers to
you
that.
know, you get off halfway and, you know, you everyone's amazing, I think, who's out here.
It doesn't matter.
We've met so many
day
amazing,
hike or not.
so many amazing
day
section
hikers,
hikers.
section hikers. You should be all proud of yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Snake me.
Enjoy the trail.
I think that this year has been such a shitstorm that it kind of gave me peace of mind that like there's really no point in planning too much. I think that what's more important is doing research rather than like really strictly planning where you're going to be in a week. I think it's good to know where like different types of shops are, where you need to send a package, where in case of like a heavy snow in this area where you could potentially flip. You don't know it at the beginning of April.
You don't know what's going on.
You don't know, you know, what the snow situation is going to look like in 2-3 months. But you know where the bus service runs, which cities would come in, you know, into consideration. So I think things like that, you know, knowing where outdoor gear shops are, where Walmarts and stuff like that are, if you're shipping boxes ahead, that might be the spot to buy more stuff. You know, stuff like that. I think that is good to kind of do some research.
What towns are good at resupplies? Which ones aren't?
Exactly.
That's really important.
Stuff like that, rather than planning where you're going to be in a week, because that really doesn't matter.
And that rolls quite nicely into the next question, so I'll probably just answer this because we'll probably all agree. But do you recommend just buying on the open market or sending boxes for the whole trail? I think for me, like, and probably all use, well, I think it's a wee bit of a mixture because you just have to research, like, and I will do a separate video all on this when I get off trail, but basically, like, a lot of the places are really easy to resupply, but it depends if you have a, you know, particular diet. Like, I kind of like have my greens powders and different things, so I did send more boxes than the average person. But yeah, there's certain places, like in Washington, for example, you might want to send yourself stuff.
And to bring up the fact that, like, a box, if you only do boxes, you can never adjust your food.
Yeah,
but if you have a town that you're going to resupply in, if you have too much food going into that, you buy less food. Yeah. But if you've sent yourself a box and you have extra food, now you have a box plus extra
Overload.
food and you have overload.
Overflow.
So
Yeah.
mixing up boxes and resupplies allows you to start adjusting and tweak. Like you can tone down the food all of a sudden. You buy less, you buy more. You know, like those towns that are good at resupplies use that as a resource to adjust towns that you need to send boxes to around them. You know, like it's a tool.
Okay,
I
we've
was
only
gonna
got a few
say-
more questions.
I was gonna say, personally, I've only sent myself boxes to Washington, which I sent myself 4 boxes to Washington, and I probably only needed to send like 2.
Yeah.
In reality, you can resupply.
Yeah.
I like Winco's personally.
He loves
supermarket.
Winco.
Well, shout
Hey,
out.
love
They got
it.
everything. The
Winco's.
produce is the good quality produce and cheaper than Walmart. And I noticed if you're like local, like you can find things that you might like that you'll never know that was there. Like these little smoked salmon that I started noticing around. Like it's from Oregon.
He goes on about
Yeah,
smoked
he's-
salmon.
It's
He
delicious.
loves it.
Yeah, it's good. Omega 3s on trail, and I think getting what do you call it, magnesium or something like that is not easy on trail. Vitamins and stuff like
Magnesium,
that.
yeah, it is magnesium.
So
I
yeah,
don't
it's
know.
healthy.
I don't
And,
like
Right. It's good.
We've got a few more wee questions. So if anyone has an answer for this, shout out. Do you learn from animal teachers that you meet along the way? I mean, we scared the shite out of a bear 2 days ago. didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teacher.
Yeah, like yeah. Is there any animals that you look at and you're like, I mean, do you know what? I'm like a lizard that likes to sit in the sun. Any animal teachers? No, we don't really see animals, but like.
I know that like I'm noticing like huckleberries. Like sometimes you're walking by a huckleberry and I see like a little critter run away. I'm like, oh, okay, the huckleberries around here must be better. Like, I don't know. But,
I've noticed that mice know humans so well. It's one thing I've learned this trail. They
know where we
know
are.
our patterns. They know our spots. They know
You
our
had one
habits.
in
Yeah,
your
it's-
tarp the other day.
yeah, it ran into yours.
And
But I was
I
like-
heard, what the fuck? And I shot up, and then like next thing, like
Yeah.
a mouse. This was the other day. A mouse like ran in my vestibule.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, we got these birds. I noticed since Oregon, these little birds they hang out at campsites and they're kind of like they look for food, so they're kind of
They
adorable.
beg. They talk to you too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They start. They try to interact
You
with
Yeah,
can
they
you.
do.
put
Okay,
food in
though.
your hand and they'll land on your hand
Yeah.
on top of your head.
Yeah,
So
they know humans.
they're kind of cute, I guess.
Dear friend.
All right, Snakebait. We have a special question for you. Snakebait, is there a through hike through the Czech Republic or nice long distance trails?
Yes.
Yes, there is.
Yes.
Yes, there is.
There's several ones.
Yeah, we're all gonna
There are 2 projects that kind of started, I feel, at roughly the same time. One is called Via Czechia, and the other one is called in Czech. It's Deska Českem, like the Czech trail, and both of them basically go around the borders, which is where most of the mountains are.
do it. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've hiked parts of it. It's, I don't know how many, like roughly 2,000 kilometers in total. They've added they've added some other ones, like west to east, north to south, and
Cool.
there's another one, Cyril and Methodius trail, which goes through like Hostinské vrchy and Beskid, and you have no idea what I'm talking about.
I
But like
know.
Somebody
to
will.
the east,
She's
yeah.
lost me. But there,
So, yeah.
there you go. Lots of long distance trails.
Lots of them.
We're gonna come
Yeah, we're gonna have
visit
to
you.
go.
So there was another question about thanks for all your videos. Thank you for watching the videos. And what are you doing about your 6-month visa? So we answered that in the other question. Okay, by the way,
Ooh.
I grew up in Vista. Where is the best burrito in North County?
Oh god, the hardest question.
So I personally, I'm a breakfast burrito guy. I like bacon, egg, and cheese. Those are like, that's kind of what I go for. But if not that, it's just a simple bean and cheese burrito.
I love a bean and cheese burrito.
Yeah. But there's a place that I like in Oceanside that's it's called Diverto's. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but it's on Mission and like I want to say Fusan, but it's on Mission and it's underneath where the 78 goes. It's like a bridge across the street is like a fire station. But Diverto's, it's like the simplest bacon, egg, and cheese. They don't fill it with potatoes. It's just bacon, egg, and cheese, and it's like a newborn baby. It's like heavy. You hand you a big burrito. You're like, whoa. But yeah, it's like, it's what I like. breakfast burritos.
Alright.
Shout out.
There's also
Oh,
Primos.
is it
Sorry.
shout out coming?
Primo.
Here we go.
There's also Primos. which is
Primos.
like-
I need
they're
a spin-off
tacos.
episode for this question.
Well, this is important. It's like
Yeah.
It's important.
this is
Okay.
like Primos. They got
Do
like
you have anything you wanted to add?
No,
there,
no.
or I think you were going to say something.
yeah. No, I was gonna say Primos for tacos, and I think they do burritos, but also like their cowboy chili or cowboy beans or something like that. But, yeah.
I just wanted to shout out Adios and Escondido, the 13th Street. Good stuff.
Alright. Okay, so we've only got a few more questions now, 3 more. So, okay. Just for a bit of fun, any good or shitty toilet stories to share?
Hey.
Do we talk about Oregon Challenge? No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, you talk about the Oregon Challenge.
Oh, the Oregon Challenge. Oh, yeah. Easy.
You're gonna have to explain what a cat hole is first for
So,
anyone who doesn't
okay,
know.
so cat hole is when you have to dig a
They did
physical
ask.
hole to poop in 6
There
to
we go.
8 inches deep to leave no trace. And then you do your business and you bury back up, and that's such a cat hole. And the Oregon Challenge is to do as little cat
Well,
holes
we
as
made this up,
possible
right? Or was this already
in
done?
the entire state of Oregon. And just to set a bar somewhere, I did 2 cat holes in the entire state of Oregon, and beat that.
Because
Go ahead.
he found a pit toilets along
There's
the way,
pit
so it's not like
toilets.
he didn't go to the bathroom.
I went more than twice in the entire
Yeah.
state of Oregon.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
only had to dig 2 cat holes.
Because there's the thing with Oregon is you've got lake resorts and you've got pit toilets and car parks, so like
Yeah.
it's easier to do it, but still
Trailheads.
very impressive.
Yeah.
So
I'm a professional
easy.
brown blazer.
Yeah.
that's what we call brown blazing. Anyone else got a shitty story?
No.
There's plenty, but I'm too
My
embarrassed.
my lips are
I was gonna say,
my lips are sealed.
I actually
I would never
prefer
tell.
like digging a hole. I think
I think it's
executing
good
a
for you.
deep squat in the morning.
A deep squat is a very good normal position.
Well, no, it's a healthy
Yeah.
thing.
It is a very
It's
healthy.
so- it's
It's
And
not
also, there's like
They're
you
selling
can't
stools
backpack a bidet with a
Put your
toilet.
feet
With,
up.
I don't know. I'd rather deep squat with a backpack a bidet,
Yeah.
squeaky clean, and do 25 miles.
Squeaky
Whoa.
It makes noise afterwards.
Alright, squeaky clean.
Let me just tell you, my body always knows I'm walking on a ridge line, so it always has to take a pill. I swear.
And then you
When you
Just
kick
for
it down.
shits and giggles. No one's gonna know about that.
Okay, right, are we getting off the shitty topic? Are you all
Yeah.
cleared up there?
No,
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so do you meet a lot of people from Holland? Yeah, we do.
Yeah, there's a lot of Dutch
Yeah,
people,
we
yeah.
literally were
A
just chatting to someone the other day from the Netherlands.
Not a
Well,
lot.
yeah.
There's a lot of Germans.
There's a
and
lot of
Dutch.
Germans on it,
And the
yeah.
Dutch, you can tell because they're all like blonde hair, blue eyes with dimples, and like just like gorgeous.
Are
like,
they? I
fuck,
don't
like,
think I don't think I saw anyone with.
Like, come on! I'm just trying to find a
They're
word.
Brown hair,
Yeah,
blue eyes,
dimples.
dimples.
I'm not from Holland, but yeah, we do meet people from Holland. Okay,
Yeah.
last question on the YouTube is for you, Vortex.
Oh.
What is Vortex wearing on her knee for most of the time?
Well, it's not for fashion, but no, I hurt my knee going into my own vortex plan, but Lake the Woods, my knee tendon actually pulled, so I got a knee brace recommendation of Blaze. She helps me kind of help rebuild the knee. I've had a few injuries, but it actually has helped strengthen and compress the tendon. So I've been wearing that. And yeah, if you have a knee injury or any kind of injury, definitely hit up Blaze. She has been the best.
Dr. Blaze.
Alright, now we're just gonna switch. We've got like 3 questions on Instagram. So, who is y'all's favourite trail family cousin? from
Cousin
Trail?
Cass.
Yeah,
Only one
Yeah,
choice.
Cass. We
Miss you, buddy.
We love
really
you.
miss you.
He was never just our cousin. He was always our family member.
Yeah, you're always
Yeah.
our
No,
family.
he's a- no.
Cash, you were always our family, and we really miss you.
Yeah,
We
these
do.
are trail
Yeah.
brothers. These aren't trail cousins.
Come back.
We love him. We
We
love
love
you.
him.
We love you. Okay. Have you ever been to Dingle? And if so, did you ever meet Fungi? I have been to Dingle. I did part of the Dingle Way not that long ago. And I didn't meet Fungi, sadly. Fungi's a dolphin. That's
This
very
is in Ireland?
famous. It's in Ireland. Dingle's a cool place. If you haven't been, you should visit.
Sounds
There's
cool.
also a whiskey distillery there that does
Ooh.
good gin.
Ooh.
Okay, Scariest part of trail. Okay, this is the last question we're going to end on. Scariest part of trail so far. Still got that knife edge coming. Okay, scariest part of trail of all.
I think that every night can be the scariest part of the trail. Depending on how your comfort is with things making noises around
The
you.
haunted campsite?
No, well, I mean, like, just when a deer walks up to you in the middle of the night and makes a bunch of noise, it can get pretty intense pretty quick. Even though it's just a deer and all they're doing is trying to sniff around.
Nice.
But you hear something breaking branches around you, and all of a sudden, shit gets real pretty quick. So I don't think that's in my head, it's not like, oh, this one place was scary. It was just like, what situations happened that were like, a little nerve-wracking, but not dangerous. Yeah.
All right.
I'd say like a lot of smoke in 2018. I remember being like around a lot of smoke. That you kind of get a little scared because it starts to bother. It starts to hurt to breathe. And then river crossings. There's some that are like little sketchy. But the scariest time I ever had on trail was in 2018. I was like, we were walking in. It was by myself. I was walking into Snoqualmie, and it was like about 4 miles left to get into the town. And you come out of the tree line. And there's like, you're walking on a trail and there's like a mountainside and a lot of brush, and I could hear boulders, like big rocks falling, coming down, but like in my direction, and I can hear like bushes and trees like breaking and all this noise, and I wasn't sure to like run and get hit by a boulder or dodge it or stay here and then dodge it or get hit either way, so I like froze, and then the boulders started falling and eventually stopped and didn't cross the trail, but it felt like it was gonna fall on the trail or anything.
It's scary.
It was like you didn't know what to do, and that was the scariest time I've been on trail. Like it only lasted about 15 seconds or something.
That's so scary, yeah.
I'd probably say, I think it was a wee bit scary when we saw our first bear because I thought it would run off and it just looked at us and started walking towards us. I nearly shot myself. That was a wee bit scary. I think my heart was going then, but I think for me, probably being, and it's still always going to be one of the hardest parts of trail, was when we were in Apache Peak. Just before Apache Peak, we were in Apache, like it was like sort of like where you would camp, and it was basically on the side of a cliff in the wind, and my tent collapsed like 3 times through the night, and it was cold as I'd be, and I was in so much pain because my hands froze over, and I was sobbing, and I was like, is this it? Is this the end?
Cold can be scary.
I was gonna say, getting lost in the snow. I did that a couple times.
Flipping North Cal.
That's what I said.
Dawson
North
South.
Cal. Was like,
Manchester.
Flipping Bain and Powell. Coming down Bain and Powell was pretty intense, but we still had fun.
It wasn't that.
But North Cal for us, like we lost the trail.
The trail was itself lost.
We didn't lose the trail. There was no trail. There was basically just snow, trees falling down. It was pretty crazy.
The trail was in the middle of a huge ice cliff, so there was no following the trail. You went below the trail, you went above the trail.
Yeah. That was scary. Vortex?
Oh. Well, I just don't really love the thought of night hiking when there's mountain lion areas. Like, in the desert, there are certain areas like by Tehachapi and stuff that people said they saw mountain lions, and I don't mind night hiking, but that's the one thing. I don't know if I want to come across a mountain lion.
I was gonna say something. There's like 2 different kind of fears. Like one's like in your head, like about night hiking or like things that like are true.
Feeling something's behind you. I get really paranoid a lot when I'm hiking alone.
Yeah, like those things are true, but like really, it's like you just gotta like shake those like fears, But like then there's like serious like you come across like a river crossing, you're like god, or like a lot of smoke. So
See me?
It was the same bit, but I didn't hike it with you guys.
Yeah, she was like a day or 2 ahead of us in that section.
Yeah, so I was supposed to hike it with someone, but I just turned out to be there alone, and it was the same with you guys. There was just lots of blowdowns, lots of snow. Navigation was difficult. I turned out to be on like the other side of the ridge than I was supposed to.
And you were by yourself too, right?
I was by myself. On the other hand, I had my snow gear still, so I had my ice axe and micro spikes, so it was a little bit better. But I had to find my way up over the ridge, which was tough.
That was bad.
Okay. But that's not a very good one to end on. Is there anything else Stumbles, would you like to come wave to the camera? come here, our new friend. Well, not our new friend. We met Stumbles in Oregon.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to say hi to our YouTube family. Yeah, come say in. Is there anything you'd like to add? Any lessons you've learned?
Yeah, we just put her on the spot.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
brilliant.
Anything that you would like to add? Anything you've learned? Any best moments? Anything interesting? Just to wrap off the video.
Well, first off, I'm sorry I just ate chocolate water. So it probably looks like I have poop all over my mouth. Keep that toilet conversation going. I think to listen to your body and to be gentle with yourself, because we can get into our heads a lot out here.
You really can.
And you have to trust yourself, but also you have to trust that it's okay to take time, and it's okay to, you know, take a breath and realize that also maybe you need help, or that you can still like be a badass and need help from other people. I had a scary situation falling off of Jacinto, and I really needed some people with me, and 2 hikers came up and like offered the help, and that camaraderie got me through a time where I thought, oh, I could do this by myself. And sometimes you just need others. So,
yeah, because it's the best community I've ever been a part of.
Same happened to me actually. There.
Yeah. So yeah,
listen to your body for sure.
yeah.
just enjoy it. Just enjoy it and just get out there.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Yay.
Oh.